The entire dust-up between Cassidy and Tory Lanez has been going on for so long that it almost feels like you need a scorecard just to keep up with everything. In the past few months, we've gotten both Lanez and Cassidy going shot for shot, with one always ending the other with another diss track or saying something about him in the press. If the last track that Cassidy released is any indication, though, this feud is far from being settled anytime soon. Cassidy isn't backing down and is hell-bent on finishing Tory for good. So what did Tory have to say about him getting completely devoured by Cass? After already dragging this man through the mud on his last track, Plagiarism, it looks like Cassidy's got a lot more on his mind about his recent nemesis on Lullaby. In case you need context about how the whole thing went down, we've already got Tory Lanez biting some of Cassidy's usual flows, which Cassidy took him to task for earlier in August of 2021 with perjury. Once Tory clapped back with a freestyle of his own on When It's Dark, the lines were drawn with Cassidy releasing Plagiarism, spending the better part of 7 minutes absolutely tearing into Lanez for everything he's done, from his incidents with Megan Thee Stallion to wanting him to get out of the hip-hop world altogether. Now we've reached Lullaby, and boy, do we have a lot to unpack here. We already have Cassidy going back to usual hard as nails flow, but there's a lot more petty stuff going around in these lyrics than most were thinking would be here. After all, Cassidy already went in hard on Tory for the first 2 records. Now it's time to have a down and dirty song that's just nothing but bars about his appearance. From the beginning notes, you can tell that Cassidy is already ready for war, right? Like with a beat that sounds like it's ripped straight out of an old horror movie, with the opening hook of writing Tory a lullaby. The rest of the song unfolds as Cassidy talks about how this young man can't hold a candle to what he's done in the game so far. Compared to how much experience he's had, Cassidy is not just looking to teach this young man a lesson anymore. He's trying to take him down into the ground so he will never show his face in the world of hip-hop ever again. In the opening verses, Cassidy is still more than a little pissed about our boy Tory biting him off, with a line like, "is lying, denying the fact that they stealing, I'm back in my feelings." Yes, he is back in his feelings, folks, and let's just say that those feelings aren't necessarily ready for forgiveness yet. There are even a few below the belt jabs in there too, with one of them mentioning Tory's hairline and even calling out how old he looks for being such a young player in the game. As much as Tory seems to keep himself on steady ground over the past few years, a line like "young as hell but look 40" isn't something that you're gonna just, shake off in a week. Even with all the controversy surrounding both these men, Cassidy isn't above calling out his competition's song directly, mentioning how he thought that the diss from When It Was Dark was cute, while also spitting about how he just kept it short. In Cassidy's mind, the only reason why this whole thing was so short was because our boy doesn't have that much material to draw from other than biting off other people's stuff. Woo! We also have another dig on here about Tory's height, claiming that it's just aight. Compared to the usual digs that we get into in rap songs, this is probably one of the more subtle burns that you're ever gonna get. Still, a burn is gonna sting you regardless. The big guns were just around the corner though, because Cassidy is dead serious when he's talking about getting his flow stolen. Compared to the stuff that we got back on Plagiarism, Cassidy might be ready to throw down with Tory the next time he sees him, with lines, "You cannot take from an actual villain and think that it won't be an actual killing." From a man who's been in the game this long, you can tell that Cassidy is beyond pissed and ready to demolish Tory if he comes across his path anytime soon. Hell, before you even take a listen to any of the track, you can tell exactly what you're gonna be in for from the cover photo here, with Tory looking like a 40-year-old child sleeping in the crib. Even though Cassidy has tried ending Tory's career many times over at this point, it's getting to the point where he's making sure that he never shows his face in the rap game ever again. That doesn't mean that Tory's going to stop trying to hold his own against the heavyweights though. Taking to Instagram, Tory had posted on his story hyping himself up about how much better his tracks are selling, even doing casual shoutouts to NFT and how fans are willing to go above and beyond to hear the latest from him. Just a casual look at his Instagram will show you that Tory isn't looking to just bow out gracefully here or anything. This is a man who believes that God has given him blessings on this earth as a musician and is gonna plow through anybody that stands in his way. Even when Cassidy was taken to Instagram to promote his latest single against him, Tory was right there in the comment section, leaving tons of laughing emojis and still claiming that Cassidy is over the hill and has no business telling him how he should live his life. What, don't believe it? Okay, how about him leading off his response by claiming that Cassidy must have to go on YouTube to search for a young type beat just to give him some clout in the industry. As far as Lullaby is concerned though, I mean, it looks like Cassidy is fully aware of his competition and is willing to double down just to show us that he's the wrong man to mess with. As it stands, the ball is now in Tory's court to actually do something about it. No matter how much he tries to defend himself on Instagram and on social media, a lot of people are starting to notice how none of these jab backs are actual bars. If Tory wants to be taken seriously as a rival for Cassidy, he's probably going to need to get on his level and actually come up with more clever bars before he finds himself lost in the shuffle. From the looks of the latest single though, it doesn't sound like Cassidy is going to even entertain the idea of seeing Tory as an equal anymore. For as little an age difference that they have right now, Cassidy is hyping himself up to be the wise, seasoned veteran of the rap game, not willing to cower to whatever the new kids say. Even if they try to come on his level, Cassidy is pulling off the image of Godfather of hip-hop too, looking to just find an ally in the wild or send his competition floating down the river. Then again, this competition is still young, so we're going to have to see where the rest of it is heading. Since Tory is still finding his feet after this dust-up with Megan Thee Stallion, Cassidy has set himself up for a big blow with his last record. Even if Tory tries to throw out some bars in the next few weeks about Cassidy, he's going to be in for an uphill battle wherever he goes. But who knows? Maybe Tory is just letting the cash speak for itself and not engaging with him any further. Given the amount of stuff he has on his plate right now, the fans are waiting with bated breath to see if he's going to be going next. And it's not like this feud is something that you can sidestep for the rest of your career though. Tory is gonna have to come correct on his next album, or he's gonna find himself playing catch up for the rest of his career. As it stands now, Cassidy is now ready to blast through whoever's in his way and is more than willing to drag Tory through the mud in the process. But if both men are still this angry at each other, we're probably gonna be in for one hell of a feud in the next few months. Then again, it's gonna be hard for someone like Tory to make a comeback when his career is already 6 feet under. That's the facts that we got today. What do you think about the feud going down between Cassidy and Tory right now? Do you think that we're going to get a sequel to When It's Dark from Tory, or is he going to sit this one out? Also, do you think Cassidy is going to come out of this unscathed as well? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments and let everybody know. Other than that, be sure to like and subscribe. Ring the bell to keep it right here on RIZZLE so you don't miss out on the next time a feud like this gets out of hand. Catch you later. Take it easy. And don't forget to keep it RIZZLE.